Short today. Seemed like it was short today. All right. We all set? All right. Trying to wait for Scott, but all right. Let's get this party started. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of the Wayne County Commission to order. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
The board is now open for roll call. Commissioners Daub and Vice Chair Palomera have requested an excuse. You have a quorum present.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I joined in.
We can mute the Zoom calls, please. Next item.
Invocation.
Okay, today we'll have the introduction of our invocator by Commissioner Tim Killeen.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning, everybody. It's my pleasure to have Father Tim Pelk with me today. He's a native Detroiter whose family was part of the Michigan Avenue Central Avenue Polish neighborhood until they got suburban and moved farther up Michigan to East Dearborn. His dad, Raymond, was a graduate of Henry Ford Trade School, and after World War II worked as a tool and die maker at the Rouge. His mom taught early elementary school with the Felician sisters for a time and became the quintessential church lady and community volunteer. He has one sister, Marcia, who graduated from Fortson and now lives in Canton. Father Tim attended Cardinal Mooney Latin School and Sacred Heart Seminary for college, graduated with a BA in English. He went on to graduate studies at St. John Provincial Seminary in Plymouth, where he received a Master's of Divinity. He also earned a Master's in Liturgy from the University of Notre Dame, Indiana, finishing right before his ordination to the priesthood for the Archdiocese in 1974. His parochial assignments have included St. Henry's in Lincoln Park, St. Mary's in Wayne, where he pastored to one Commissioner Al Hadus, as we found that out this morning, St. Mary's of Redford, St. Michael's in Pontiac, and Presentation, Our Lady of Victory in Detroit. He assumed the pastorate of St. Ambrose, a Detroit Grosse Pointe Park parish, in 1986, where remains at present. Urban parishes and schools are where he feels most at home. In addition to the parish ministry, Father Pelk was a charter member of the Blessed Sacrament Cathedral renovation, site coordinator for the papal visit of Pope John Paul II to Detroit back in '86, and has numerous special publications and projects for the Archdiocese, most notably the 5-long Jubilee 2000 project. His Harley Davidson sits in his garage for now while he figures out how to retire and hit the road. And I'll also comment, getting to know Tim over the years, one of the favorite things he said to me is he looks at his job as comforting the afflicted and afflicting the comfortable. Father Tim, thank you for being here today.
Thank you very much. I'm coming up on a half century of priesthood and giving invocations. I don't remember many of them. So I'd like to hopefully give you something to remember, a slightly different kind of invocation this morning. Thank you, Commissioner Killeen, for the opportunity to be here today. First of all, let's begin by asking God to be with us. Father in heaven, bless us as we gather today for this meeting. Guide our hearts, guide our minds, so that we will work for the good of the community and help all your people. Teach us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in all of our decisions. God, we praise you, for you are our Father forever and ever. Amen. That's part one. Hang on. This is the part that you'll probably remember a little more. I brought with me today in a Cherokee Indian basket some vials of water, good, pure Michigan water, which is our great resource and it's our great challenge. We're going to ask the Lord to bless this water, and I'm going to, there are enough here for all the commissioners and anyone else who may want one. It's something, normally when a priest shows up with a basket, you're supposed to put something in. This time the priest shows up and you take something out of the basket. Okay. Use it for your personal edification. Use it, give it away to someone. Water in spiritual sense does two things. It cleanses, it gets rid of all of the impurities, and then it also gives life. And that really is the job of all the commissioners here, to cleanse and to give life. Loving Father, creator of heaven and earth, you've made water as one of your most beautiful gifts to us. Through water, you refresh us, you sustain our life, you cleanse us, and you support growth in all things. Bless this water, make it a source of life, refreshment, cleanliness, and joy for all. Bless those who work with and use this water. Protect them. Heavenly Father, we ask you this grace through Christ our Lord. Amen. The Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Father, for that wonderful prayer and for the water. We appreciate that. And you are right, we will remember both your invocation and the water. Thank you so much for being with us today. He'll pass that out. I'll wait a moment as Father passes out the water. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Reading, correcting, and approval of the journal.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun.
Move for approval.
There's support. Moved and supported. In discussion on the journal. Waiting for a moment. Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item.
Report from the chair.
I am going to move this to later in the agenda when we have a special presentation. Next item.
Unfinished business, there is none listed. We are moving to page 2 of the agenda, offering of all petitions, ordinances, resolutions, and presentations. There are none listed. We are moving to reports from committees. Report A is from the Committee on Public Services. There are 13 items listed on pages 2 through 5 of the agenda.
Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I'd just like to thank Commissioner Haddis for taking over for me at the last minute with this meeting last week. But I'd like to move to receive and file items 1 through 4 and move approval for items 5 through 13, with Commissioner Haddis being the maker of number 13.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Marecki, supported by Commissioner Baydun. Any discussion on the public services report? Any discussion on public services? Hearing none. I'm sorry, Commissioner Anderson.
Sorry about that. I was looking to see if our Parks Director was here because I see there's one item about signage, item 9. And maybe the chair of the committee, who chaired the committee, if would recall if was there discussion about, okay, I believe this was the signage, right? It's not number 9. No. Number 8. Okay, thank you. Number 8, the signage in the parks. Just wanted to find out if that's going to complete those signs that have yet to be replaced. They took down a sign that was becoming dangerous on Plymouth Road or on Joy Road, west of between Wayne Road and Newburgh on the edge of the park. And it's never been replaced. And there's also a sign on Central City Parkway near Warren Road on that side of the park that is still in very poor condition. I just wonder if this is going to complete all of the signs. Because I believe it's been 2 years since I asked the question.
So, Madam Chair.
I was just about to say the director's
Oh,
online.
She is there. Good, very good.
Hello. Go ahead, Ms. Bradford.
But, thank you so much, Madam Chair. Through the chair, Commissioner Anderson, this is not a completion of all of our signage. Based on budget, we had to complete our signage in phases. So our main priority was looking at the larger park system, and then we are working within the next phases of our ancillary signage and locations. So the sign that you noted will be addressed, but that will be in the next phase. This is to address Elizabeth Park, crosswinds, rotunda, and some other major access signage there. So there will be another project. The project of park signage is ongoing. So within the 23-24 budget, we'll be dealing with those other ancillary locations.
So we will have it completed then by the end of the 24 budget.
Through the chair, correct. With approval through purchasing, procurement, contract approvals, quotes that we receive in, we're hoping to have that completed by the end of the 24 budget. Correct.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. That's all I have.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any additional questions on the public services report? Commissioner Basham? You were on. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Number 12, I noticed was a sole source. If somebody could speak to that.
This is Wayne and Spartan Distributors. Toro mower parts and repair.
Michelle Yancey, Department of Public Service Admin. What is the question, Commissioner? I know it's sole source, but.
The question is, it's a sole source contract, and I'm not a big fan of sole source contracts. So I was wondering why it is a sole source contract.
The reason that this is a sole source contract is because it's OME. It's manufactured equipment that we need to specifically use for these machines, that if we don't use the specific parts and repairs, that we will be out of warranty. And this is the only company that provides these parts in the state of Michigan.
Okay, Commissioner? Yep. Okay. Any additional questions on the public services report? Hearing none? Please vote.
Motion carries, and Commissioner Hattis is the maker of the motion on item 13.
All right, before we go on to the next report, I neglected to say during Chair's remarks for those who are new to our meetings that We deliberate during committees, and after the committee reports, they come to full board for final disposition. So all the items are thoroughly discussed and vetted at the committee level before they come here. And the commissioners who are not on those committees ask questions and get further information. And then the final vote for the enactment of the contracts come to the full board meeting. Next item, please.
We are on report B from the Committee on Ways and Means. There are 4 items listed.
Commissioner Kinlock.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I move approval of items 1 through 4.
Support.
Moved and supported are the 4 items on the Ways and Means report. Any discussion or questions on these items? Commissioner Basham.
I'll be a no on item 4.
Duly noted.
Commissioner Anderson.
Madam Chair, I'll be a no vote also on number 4 because of who is the principal with that organization, Gladys Partners.
Duly noted.
Any further discussion on the Ways and Means report? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries. And I have Commissioners Basham and Anderson as a no on item number 4.
Next item, please.
We are on report C from the Committee on Health and Human Services. There are 6 items listed on pages 7 and 8 of the agenda.
Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to receive and file items 1 and 5. Move approval, items 2, 3, 4, and 6. And before the question is asked about the comparable source on 6, most of you know that we're facing some challenges at the JDF. We have about 52 youth that are already adjudicated, but is just being held there until they can get treatment. So this is an emergency treatment for those youth, which I'm recommending that we should hold the state in contempt for not processing the youth and just them sitting there. And, you know, to me, that's a tragedy. So those are the items.
Thank you. Commissioner Kniezek.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to abstain on items 4 and 6.
Thank you. Is Ms. Fernandez or someone from JDF or, oh, our director's here. Director. Morning, sir. Just if you could just give a little bit more information on Team Wellness. I know they'll be providing services, as Commissioner Baker McCormick just stated, but can you just tell us where we are today on JDF as far as of today, what our population is and when the treatment will start for the young people?
Yeah, Dr. Abdul Al-Sayed, Director of Health, Human and Veteran Services and Health Officer of Wayne County. I also have to note that as of the reorganization, I am speaking to past experiences. The director of the department is Director Melissa Fernandez, and so I'm acting in her stead given our past experiences and the fact that it was under our department as of a month ago. The impetus to work with Team Wellness comes from 2 intersecting issues. The first is that we have youths in our facility today, 152. About 52 of them have been adjudicated. As the commissioners know, in the juvenile legal system, youths are not sentenced to time. Instead, they are adjudicated to treatment. And the challenge is that there have not been sufficient beds statewide to place youths at the JDF into a long-term treatment facility at which time they would be getting the treatment to which they were adjudicated. They often stay with us upwards of several months to years in some cases without a placement. In our conversation with the state recommended that we partner specifically with Team Wellness to start providing services in our facility, despite the fact that prior to this current crisis, our average stay was 3 weeks. You can't really provide long-term psychological services, treatment, for 3 weeks. But given that the average stay has since ballooned, their recommendation was that we work with this partner specifically to start providing services for post-adjudicated youth in our facility. And so this contract recognizes that the state, which is the licensing body, has recommended this particular provider to start providing services in our facility. We have since, through the course of the public health emergency and beyond, built out and outfitted a pod at Dickerson specifically for these services to be provided, where youth can go in and out from their own pods to get services from providers from Team Wellness. And this contract would be for those services for these youth for 6 months. We recognize that it is an emergency to start getting services for these children. And we also recognize that 6 months is the amount of time that the county can support this program, but we really do need our partners at the state to fill in and address the fact that this kind of a program could remain a gap. And so what we're hoping to do is recognize the emergency of getting services to kids and kick off this program, which is what we've built to. But we also recognize that we need long-term funding, and that funding ought to come from the state of Michigan, whose responsibility it is to provide those long-term rehabilitative services in the first place.
Thank you for the explanation. Are we hopeful then after 6 months, things and beds will open up at the state level and we will be able to be done with this contract? Or do you think this is something that we will keep doing just to fill that gap?
Yeah, Madam Chair, we are always hopeful. And we are working hand in glove with the state of Michigan and with Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network, DWIN, to facilitate that. But we are not in a position to continue this long term. We do need the support of the state to kick in. And so we are in effect taking emergency measures to offer our youth the services that they need and deserve, have needed and deserved, while the state of Michigan and DWIN figure out the rest of this.
Thank you. While you're here, Commissioner Baker McCormick.
And just to that point, I think it's just a travesty that we have youth in our facilities that they're just sitting there over a year. It's sad to me. And so something has to be done. And it's not, it's just not. And I don't know if we have the ability long-term to continue to treat. I don't know if that's going to be the fix. And so we need to do something like right away. So that's.
And I know there have been talks with the state to address that for over a year now. Some of the agencies that we've used in the past are opening up their beds, which Spectrum, I think, has now expanded. That was a provider that had shrunk, and now they're expanding again. So I'm hopeful that we will have a clear end to this tragedy very soon. Commissioner Marecki?
I actually was going to say something else, but since the doctor's here now, do we use, I know it's under renovation right now, but do we use the Hawthorne Center in Northville to send kids there?
To my knowledge, Hawthorne is a state psychiatric hospital. And so for youths who would need long-term psychiatric treatment, so the differentiation between psychiatric versus psychological is really when you start talking about the potential for medication. So for youths who have mental illness meeting the need for psychiatric care, they would be eligible for placement at Hawthorne. But any youth in the criminal legal system who has been adjudicated will need psychological rehabilitation, which is just a different kind of service. So for some of these use, yes. For most of these use, no.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions or discussion on Health and Human Services? Oh, Commissioner Marecki?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to be a no on number 2.
Okay, thank you. Noted.
And I'd like to abstain from item 6.
Okay, please vote.
Mazik as an abstention on items 4 and 6, Commissioner Baker McCormick as an abstention on item number 6, Commissioner Marecki as a no on item number 2.
Thank you. Next item.
We're moving to report D from the Committee on Audit. There are 2 items listed.
Commissioner Basham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move to accept item number 1 and motion to receive and file item number 2.
There's support, supported by Commissioner Killeen. Any discussion on the audit report? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Item, please.
We are on report E from the Committee on Government Operations. There are 6 items listed on pages 9 and 10 of the agenda.
Commissioner Killeen?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Committee on Government Operations is recommending to receive and file items 1 and 2 and to approve items 3 through 6. And please note on item 6, we did get the necessary paperwork. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any discussion on government operations? Any discussion on the government operations report? Hearing none, please vote. Oh, sorry. Reviews as required by, okay, so the receive and file for 1 and then approve 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Item 2 is a receive and file 2, Madam Chair. Doesn't say it explicitly, it's just a report, right?
An approval.
Well, that's right, because it was charter. I'm sorry. That's right. It was charter, not just a budget instruction.
Yes.
That's right. Sorry.
Receive and file number 1, approve items 2 through 6.
Yep.
Please vote.
Motion carries.
Go to new business, please, on the agenda.
We are moving to new business. There are 7 items listed. Item number 1 is a resolution requesting approval of the reappointments of David Katz, Commissioner Alicia Bell, and Commissioner Terry Marecki to the Wayne County Zoological Authority Board.
Motion. I heard Commissioner Hayes, but I saw Commissioner Kinlock. Okay, moved by Commissioner Hayes, supported by Commissioner Clark Coleman. Any discussion on item number 1, the appointments to the Wayne County Zoological Authority Board? Okay, please vote.
Get to it.
No, sorry.
Easy.
Kinlock, please. Thank you.
Motion carries.
Thank you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Item number 2.
Item number 2, yes.
Item number 2 is requesting approval of the appointment of Third Circuit Court Judge Donald Knapp to the Wayne County Community Corrections Advisory Board.
Commissioner Marecki?
Just want to tell my colleagues, this is a great appointment. I've known Don for probably 30 years as a friend. We served on city council together. He was a city attorney in Livonia. He's been a great judge, and I was very excited to see this today, and I urge your support of him because he's a wonderful guy. And some of you may know him, but he's a wonderful person, a wonderful servant, and I highly recommend him.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And if I could make the motion, I know Irma did, but if that would.
Commissioner Clark Coleman, you're on green.
Thank you.
Yellow.
As,
Go ahead.
thank you, Madam Chair. As Chair of the Committee on Community Corrections, I'm very happy to hear that. We look forward to him serving on our committee. And if you'd like to make the motion, I will grant you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Moved by
Appreciate
Commissioner Marecki, supported by Commissioner Clark Coleman. Any discussion on this appointment? Judge Donald Knapp to the Wayne County Community Corrections Advisory Board. Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Next item, please.
Item number 3 is requesting commission approval of a 2-year intergovernmental agreement with 2 one-year options to renew between the Charter County of Wayne and the Wayne County Airport Authority.
And who is here to speak to this item? Give us your name and title for the record, as well as what the details of this contract is. You're good.
Good morning, Benita Terry, Director of Administration for the Sheriff's Office. This contract here will allow use of Wayne County Airport Authority firearm range because at this time, our firearm range is not in use at the Road Patrol location in Westland. So this is a 2-year contract. It will allow our certified officers to go in and train and get their certifications hours that they need.
Is there any notion of when our firearm range will be available?
I don't know at this time. I don't have any information on that. There's discussion of us having a new building, so I'm not sure where our firearm range will be at this time, what will happen.
Questions, Commissioner Anderson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to let everyone know the current shooting range is unusable because the building has been basically condemned due to hazardous, I guess, growth of different types of contaminants that are in the building. So they're actually operating that facility now out of a mobile facility just to the north, I believe. And it's I think a double wide trailer or a manufactured office. And there is no answer right now. I don't think there's, in all fairness, any way we can estimate when there will be another range that the county owns. So hopefully within a 2-year period, something will happen.
Thank you for that information,
Thank you.
Commissioner. Thank you. Commissioner Haydus?
Thank you, Madam the Chair. I think it's the beginning of the effort to abandon the Henry Ruff site in Westland. I heard the sheriff department moving to Livonia. They offer in some building. I think it's a bad move. Henry Ruff location, it's a wonderful location. The building, it's outdated, need to renovate or demolish to build a new one. But I think abandon the site of Henry Ruff that really only few minutes from the largest airport in the Midwest. It serves the all Wayne County, centrally located. I heard a lot of things officially and non-officially about moving it from that site. And I know they make an offer on building in Livonia. But my disappointment is it's not been discussed with the commissioner to see what served the county better, what location. serve the county better on that. It's my opinion on that, moving the sheriff department from Hunter Rough. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Basham?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I absolutely agree with Commissioner Hayes. Years ago, when they used to have a hospital, Wayne County did, it was located in the center of the county, not at the north end of the county. I live downriver and not the south end of Wayne County, but that facility that they're talking about, not the current, working with the airport authority, but is actually 30 miles from where I live. And so the reason that Henry Rough was located there was because it's center of the county and people didn't have to drive downtown to get the CPLs or the marriage license and so on and so forth. Shame on Wayne County. That includes the commission and the administrations and the previous administrations for not maintaining the buildings that the working class folks like the sheriff's department and others worked out of that Henry Rough building. We let it go as a county. We never maintained it as a county. We allowed moss to grow on the floor and the roof to be bad and the windows to be bad. We own that building. We should fix that building. We should fix the gun range, but there is a gun range there. The building that the administration is looking at without coming by the commission has no gun range. And it's the north end of the county near Middle Belt and 96. And so if we want to look at long-term, and we should, solutions for Wayne County, I agree that we should support this using the airport authority's range, but we also should support having a plan that's best for all of Wayne County, because if they move the sheriff's facilities to Livonia, we don't have manpower now to do what needs to be done. So if you do it up there in northern Wayne County, then you need to do the same thing in southern Wayne County. And so rather than have this fight, we should come together as a county and the county commission to locate and to fix up our current facility, fix the roof, replace the interior, replace the plumbing, replace the lights. And we have a gun range, upgrade the gun range to where it's modern and move forward. We need to have a long-term vision plan with the administration and the commission. And this actually starts as a tip of the iceberg for that issue. And we should be included in it. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. I hope the administration heard the comments from commissioners, and what we should look for is a cost on what it would be to fix up Henry Rough for the things that were noted, the roof, the floors, the remediation of the moss and everything, and then do a comparison of what that's going to cost versus going to a new building. But we all know that Henry Rough is right in the middle of Wayne County, and that's why it was built there to service everyone right in the middle of the county. So hopefully Eddie and Darcel heard that, and that they'll get that information to us.
Chair, to that
point, Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you. I just wanted to add my comments that I believe that is the best location. There is property there to build a building, and that's where it should remain. It's, as you have mentioned also, it's centrally located in Wayne County, and a new building could be built. I believe that might be the way to go rather than trying to renovate that old building. But either way, I think it's important to keep that location. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Marecki?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to make a couple comments because every time this comes up, everybody talks about not wanting to start a fight over this, but you're starting a fight over this. We have not heard from the administration about this. I've been by the building. I have no idea if this thing's gone through. Beautiful building right off of Middle Belt, right off. I mean, people would be like, you get off, you go a couple hundred feet, you'd be right in there. So I think we should wait for the administration to come instead of starting this now between everyone. From my understanding, the Henry Rough building will take $6 million to fix this pit hole that I keep hearing about. So I think we should wait and see. I mean, the sheriffs should make this decision. They're the sheriffs. They'll use the building. They'll know what to do with it. And then we can have the discussion there. But I don't know why we're starting this fight before it's even come to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. To that point, Commissioner Hayes. Microphone, sir.
To hear from, and we already heard today, they want to use the gun range at the airport. They start the movement. I see their effort to move the facility, and we all heard it. We didn't hear about it officially, but we did hear about it non-officially. That's why I express my opinion. It's a bad move. You move from centrally located, and very important. We all remember the sad story when the airplane crashed on Middle Belt, how important was that facility to assist the public safety of the airport and the municipality, Romulus. So we're talking about strategic location, and the rumor it's already out there, and we gonna wait till the decision been hammered and final just to come here for ceremonial approval and vote yes and pass on it. I think it's a mistake to move that location. As has been mentioned, it's not something against Livonia or for Livonia. It's something about centrally located and Michigan Avenue, the accessibility of that building. It's fantastic. Wherever we need, if we need to demolish the building, and as has been mentioned now, I didn't know the cost, 6 million or a little bit more. Well, we collect tax dollar to provide services. And based on the importance of that service, it's the amount we spend. I think whatever it costs to keep that facility in that location and to provide satellite offices with the modern building for Wayne County services, that would be plus and fantastic. But it just not against one city or the other. It's for the importance of the location.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Bethune.
Point of order, Madam Chair.
Okay.
I think point of order. I think we're so far off of what this actual agenda item is. I'm wondering if maybe we can put it up for a vote, and if folks don't want it, they can vote no, or it can be pulled from the agenda, or something other than having the discussion that we're having that is so far removed from $100,000 appropriation move forward here. And I'm not saying the discussion is bad. I think it's good. We're just so far from it right now.
Was that a call for the question?
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I am giving commissioners latitude. You took the words out of my mouth, Commissioner Kniezek, because I wanted to have Commissioner Vice Chair Bethune have the last word on this, given that we are strained from the item, which I did make mention of, that we would not do at our last full board meeting, and we're doing it again. However, I do, because Vice Chair had his hand up, I want him to give a last word, and then we will move forward with this item. Vice Chair Bethune.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, this is an item that needs extensive discussion. Obviously, we're not gonna resolve this issue here on the facility on Michigan Avenue and Henry Ruff. I do agree with my colleagues on the central location of this facility. I don't know where the $6 million came from. Again, we need to have a study session on this. But I agree with Commissioner Kniezek. We should focus on what we're voting on, which is the $100,000 today for the gun range. That's just my thought.
Thank you, and I appreciate everyone's passion on this issue, because it's very important that we do have a collective conversation on it. However, this issue is not on our agenda. The $100,000 at the airport is. So I will ask if there any further discussion on the agenda items. On item number 3. Hearing none, please vote on item number 3. Thank you, ma'am, for standing through all that discussion.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item number 4 is requesting commission approval of a collective bargaining agreement between the Charter County of Wayne and the Government Bar Association.
Okay, item number 4, 5, 6. can all be taken together. Who is here to speak to those items? Hello, sir.
But you're not on
Hit
yet.
the little button.
We
Yes,
got 'em.
wait, hit it again. One time. There you go. Right, okay, thank you.
Apologies. Good morning, Madam Chairwoman, Matthew Carmona, on behalf of the Labor Relations Division. The first one, item number 4, is a proposal for a new collective bargaining agreement with the Government Bar Association. I can give some quick highlights of it. This has been a topic of much discussion at Madam Chairwoman's Benefits Committee and also with the representatives from GBA. And in response to those discussions, we did meet and negotiate some changes to the bargaining agreement that include an increase in amount for professional seminars that is allotted for each member. That also increases some of the things that money can be used for. We have increased salaries, bringing the starting wage, I think is very important, up to $75,000 for an APA or ACC1, which does put us on par with Macomb and Oakland County. And I think it may even be a couple thousand above in a couple of situations. We've also increased the amount of money for the week-long on-call duties and special on-call duties. That's for when the prosecutors or APAs are basically from the evening to the morning on call to answer calls from police and whoever else may need their assistance doing their job. We've also, if you recall, 2 weeks ago, there were several MOAs that included immediate benefit improvements. Those same benefit improvements are included in this CBA, and that would be a reduction in the employee contribution amount from for healthcare benefits from 25% to 20%. It also includes an increase in the annual wage stipend, and it also includes that the employer will provide parking for the employees. For this particular group, the parking benefit, once the move to the CJC is made, my parking has already been accounted for there and allotted, but this will cover that interim period to reimburse the employees for parking. That is the high level on that CBA. I'm happy to answer any questions that commission members may have.
Thank you for that. I know we received quite a bit of feedback during the Benefits Task Force from GBA members. They were very thoughtful and thorough in their discussion items with what they think would be a fair additions to their bargaining agreement. So I'm glad that we were able to discuss and talk with them and come to an agreement. Of course, they voted for this. This is why this is on our agenda. We don't get bargaining agreements unless the membership has already voted on it. So they voted on it, they agreed to it, and I was here for final disposition. Is there any discussion on this item from commissioners? Commissioner Clark-Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you also.
Welcome, ma'am.
I am very happy. I want you to repeat what you said about we are now comparable to the surrounding counties, that our attorneys are now comparable. Would you please repeat that?
Yes, ma'am, I'd be happy to. Yeah, the starting wage for the attorneys in Wayne County is now at par with Oakland and Macomb County as a result of this agreement.
Really was ahead of us, right?
You know, that stuff, I've been doing a lot of bargaining and I have a lot of numbers running around my head, but there was a significant difference and we've managed to close that, yes.
I am certainly happy to hear that. I have had many talks with, as a matter of fact, everywhere I go, I run into a gentleman who is a member of the prosecutor's office and the Government Bar Association, and that's his major topic. So when next time I see him, I will be able to respond to him that conversation has been taken care of. So thank you, and I'm happy to hear that our attorneys will be compensated the way they should be, and that we'll stop losing so many of our prosecutors and others to the surrounding counties. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Especially with the prosecutors, of course, they have the largest load of any prosecutors in the state. So to know that they're being compensated accordingly is great news. So thank you for your team for working and getting this accomplished. I know they're happy, we're happy. So hopefully we can start to attract more prosecutors and not have the ones that we have leave to go to other counties. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And I really have to also include, obviously not me, but the executive, Mr. Evans, Madam Prosecutor Worthy, and Corp Counsel James Heath also bear a lot of credit for this. So it certainly is not just me.
A group effort. Thank you. Stay there. We're going to go to number 5. Madam Clerk, did you read number 5 a little bit?
Item number 5 is requesting commission approval of a memorandum of agreement addressing benefit improvements that will be part of an existing collective bargaining agreement between the Charter County of Wayne and ASME Council 25, Locals 25, 101, 409, 1659, and AFL-CIO.
Okay.
This is pretty much the same MOA that the commission saw 2 weeks ago for several of the other bargaining units. This is part of the initiative to move promptly and quickly to improve benefits for employees in the areas where we can. The 3 major items included in this one is the reduction in premium contribution for employees for healthcare, the increase of the annual wage bonus, and the provision to provide parking for employees.
Any questions on this particular one? Ask me.
And this is for the
AFL-CIO?
non-supervisors bargaining unit.
Non-supervisors? Okay, great. Any questions on this item? Okay, and then the next one is, I'm sorry, Commissioner Clark Coleman? I'm sorry, go ahead.
So now you mentioned the 3 improvements.
Correct, ma'am.
One is the improvement of the healthcare from from 20 to 20, no, from 25 to 20%.
That's correct.
That's one thing. And then the other is what do you call that?
The annual wage bonus?
Annual wage bonus.
Correct.
And that's one where the funds will go into like a healthcare.
Whether the funds go into an employee's HSA account is up to that employee. That option is certainly there, and typically it's part of the open enrollment process when you sign up for healthcare. So if you, depending on the level of coverage, either for a single person, 2-person, or family, the amount is linked to that. And then if you don't take any coverage, then you get the same bonus for single coverage, but you would obviously take that in payment, in income, because you don't have a health coverage through the county. But then at that time, each individual employee can choose for themselves whether they want to deposit that money into their HSA account or whether they want to take it as cash. And as an aside, there is also additional bargaining going on that I believe Ms. Allen updated the commission on last week. And one of the many things that has come out of that is we're focusing on educating the employees more about how our health plan works. Because it might not be the most user-friendly at first blush, but when you can see how it works, it's also not as bad as a lot of people may think. It's actually quite good in many ways, but it's learning how and knowing how to use it and take advantage of these different pieces, such as putting this money in the HSA. So we have also been focusing on that to try to encourage more people to do that when they can, because you really do experience significant tax savings and benefit when you put that money in there.
Third is the parking.
Correct, ma'am.
Okay. That's good. Thank you.
You. Any questions further on that item? Okay. And the next one, item 6.
Item number 6 is requesting commission approval of a memorandum of agreement addressing one-time retention stipends that will be part of a existing collective bargaining agreement between the Charter County of Wayne and the Dietitians and Nutritionists Association.
This item, go ahead, sir.
Yes, this item, this was actually, again, I have to give credit to the county executive and to Dr. El Said and his team. They approached us with wanting to do something for the public health employees. And there was grant money available from a grant that had already been approved that could be used for retention of employee purposes. So this is geared towards the employees in the health department And it is providing one-time lump sum payments to these employees from this grant money. And I think it's a really great example by his team of trying to do what we can, where we can with what we have.
Questions on this item? Commissioner Kling?
Thank you, Madam Chair. With the round of agreements at the last meeting.
Correct.
And now we have this meeting. Are there any bargaining units who we haven't touched their collective bargaining agreements? Anything still outstanding?
I would say there are more in the pipeline. I will definitely say that because we are continuing to bargain on various items. Are there any we haven't touched? The short answer is no, but they might not have made it to the commission just yet.
There may be
Did I
some
answer your
other
question?
agreements that are working their way through.
Correct.
To get to
Correct.
us.
I believe there's maybe a couple more of the immediate benefit ones where we're waiting to get responses from the union and then process it. There are other unions who would be affected by the very similar memorandum you see before you on this item that are working their way through, and we have not quite reached agreement. So you'll be seeing those in the future.
When all is said and done, will we have touched every bargaining unit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. When all is said and done, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, and as a FYI,
I'm sorry, let me back up, just to be
ahead,
clear.
sir.
My apologies,
No, go
Madam
ahead.
Chair.
Yeah.
For this particular item, it's not going to touch every bargaining unit. Across the board of all the things we're doing, yes, we will have touched.
Yeah,
every
that's what I
bargaining.
was getting at.
Just wanted to make sure since
Thank
we were
you.
talking about this item.
Yeah.
okay, just as a FYI, the employees affected by the dietitians and nutritionists are 5. ASME non-supervised are 716 and DBA are 154. So this affects 875 employees. So we're getting there to our full FTE. Go ahead, sir. Okay, now there's still some vacancies, but these are the number of employees that this has. Vacancies, unfortunately, of this group are still 447, but the ones who are active are 875. All right, so for items number 4, 5, and 6, I will ask that Commissioner Irma Clark Coleman make the motion for those items.
You.
If there's support for 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and Mr. Hayes, you will be the support. So for 4, 5, and 6, again, these are the GBAs, MOAs for the bargaining units. Any further discussion on any of these items? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
All right. Thank you so much. And number 7.
We're moving to item number 7, requesting commission approval of an addendum to a master settlement agreement and a Michigan State subdivision agreement in the matter of County of Wayne et al. Versus Purdue Pharma.
Hey, hello.
Good morning, Sue Hammoud, Deputy Corporation Counsel. This is an addendum to the master agreement that we have with regards to the opioid lawsuit that the county filed. This is what we believe to be the last defendant that we will be getting funds from, adding Walgreens to that agreement where the county is scheduled to receive approximately $7.95 million over a 15-year period.
Very good. Almost $8 million over 15 years, but that's still going to be able to help us tremendously, especially with our health department, because this is what the health issue, the opioid epidemic, and things we can do, preventative things that we can do to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So if there are any questions, Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to ask, I guess, a little clarification on that, where these funds will be used for. Is it going to be for prevention?
Yeah, well, there's a very broad range with respect to the master agreement in terms of what the funds can be used for in terms of remediating the opioid pandemic. They can be used for prevention. They can be used for, and I apologize, I don't have the list off the top of my head, but prevention is certainly one of them. Yeah, prevention is certainly one of them. You have a better understanding of what, okay.
So Dr. Abdul El Sayed, Director, Health Officer, Wayne County Department of Health, Human and Veteran Services. So this represents funding, obviously, that comes out of a lawsuit toward the use, and there are very prescribed uses for the funding. To share a bit about what we intend to leverage these against, there's going to be some bucket around prevention, some bucket around treatment. We hope to be able to present before you soon a plan around Narcan access, which we're really excited about. The intent is to be able to place 100 Narcan vending machines around the county, which is, as we know, life-saving treatment. But even beyond then, there is a lot of work we need to do to shore up the treatment network across the county. And then, of course, to get out to the community around prevention. We intend to build inside the clinical services division headed up by our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Avni Sheth, whose practice area is in this space, a broader behavioral health program that would be leveraged to be the glue, almost the cement between the bricks, so to speak, between all of the different nonprofit-based and for-profit providers out there, so that we're really thinking about all of the spaces within which people fall out of treatment and how to get them back in. Building something like this requires an extensive engagement with what exists out there. And so we are nearing up the end of that survey, and we hope to be able to propose a series of programs that would be funded by these dollars. The second piece, of course, is supporting existing organizations doing this work. Our partner, the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network, chief among them. And then the third, of course, is we in the county operate jail health, and then we also operate a series of programs for returning citizens. And that drop-off is a really important point at which people will go from having the services they need to not having them. And that's another place that we intend to invest.
Once, if I could, once that you've put this list of plans together, if you could share that with us, would appreciate it. And I would also ask the Narcan vending machines. I don't know about the effectiveness of that around the country, but I would think that if it's just easy for someone to go and empty a machine out, it's going to happen in a lot of cases. So if you could, maybe not now, but down the road, share with us how that's going to be prevented.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Marecki?
Madam Chair. So we're required by law to use this on opioid
remediation.
So will somebody be tracking like what all these entities do with this money? Because I'm not sure every entity uses smoking money the way they were supposed to.
So that's what HHBS is doing. So the money is in a specific fund. And like I said, there's a broad scope for what it can be
We'll just be
used for.
doing our
Yep.
own
Yes.
internal or,
Yep.
okay.
Yes.
And I just have an off question too. You might not know this, but it's curious that a drugstore was sued on this. And I'm wondering why, because they just fill prescriptions.
So that's really the logic behind it, is that the retailer is in the best position to know who is abusing the drugs because they're the ones that are filling the scripts. So, for example, if I'm going every day or every week or whatever and filling my prescriptions, the retailer is really the gatekeeper to be able to signal that, hey, this person might be abusing the drugs. That was the rationale.
Was there any communication, like they tried to get a hold of the doctors that were writing the scripts?
That I could not help.
I was just curious.
But that was the rationale with the
Okay.
retailers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, with all of this spin, I look forward to having a more thorough conversation in the Health and Human Services Committee about how that's going to be allocated, what companies, what the spend is, and then please also, I know commissioners have some ideas as well as how to spend this one-time allotment of money that's going to really help to save lives. So please, commissioners, if you have ideas, share with the director too as they put the plan together for this spend. Commissioner Basham?
I wasn't going to say anything till you said the last comment that you had. We have currently 2 drug courts in my district that they're trying to get some funding for. These are actually people that are trying to recover and get their life back together, and they're having trouble funding those currently operating drug courts. Commissioner Kinlock has been working with me, but we need to get this like done yesterday, all of us. So anyway, I just thought I would bring it up, being you said that about ideas. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you want to respond, Director?
Abdul Al Sayed, Director, Health Officer, Wayne County. I appreciate that. Our office has attempted to reach out to them several times. So we welcome that conversation and we'd love to move forward and think together about how to work together.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think, Sue, you mentioned, but just I want to be clear. This is the last legal case, if you will, or the last settlement.
We believe this is the last one that we will be getting funds from. There are other defendants, however, they're in bankruptcy currently. So we don't believe that we'll be seeing any funds or any significant funds from them.
With this amount of almost $8 million, what will the total amount be collected by the county, roughly? I know we voted on that.
I'm going to say approximately about 60 million.
60?
Yeah.
60. Okay. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any additional questions, discussion? Commissioner Clark-Olman.
Have we collected
So
any of these funds?
we
yet?
have collected some, yes. I could not, and I apologize, I could not tell you because I don't manage the money. So I couldn't tell you how much of it has actually come in, but we have collected some, yes.
So they can now be put into use in terms of
Correct.
preventative
Yeah.
or whatever.
Mhm.
Mr. Kinlock?
Yes, yes, is someone here who can answer as it relates to that amount that's been received to date?
Yes, Kamal Keparu, Finance Director for the department. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's about, as of to date, about $6.5 million that we've collected or that's been received so far. In this current year budget, we're looking to allocate about 1.7. And as Dr. Director L. Saeed stated, we're in the process of developing programs to allocate the other money. But as he said, we'll be coming back to you all. But just as full disclosure, in the upcoming budget year, we did allocate 1.7 of that. That was it.
Thank you. That answer your question, Commissioner?
Yes, but of course, we're still having conversations with the department about the budget. You get some more information regarding this. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Kamal. Any additional questions on this item? Commissioner Khalil.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With this item, because it's going to be over several years too, right? Looks
Yes.
like we're going to get roughly $500,000 a year or whatever. And we do have a special account for this. Madam Chair, what I'm suggesting here is we assign this to one of our committees, whichever you think is the most appropriate, to monitor this. I'm sure that the court order settlement goes into a lot of detail about what you can and cannot spend this money on, and that is not facts and evidence before us today. But I think if we assign one of our committees, whatever you think is the most appropriate one, to keep track of this account, money in, money out, what are we doing it for? I think the commission can stay up on it, because right now it's kind of piecemeal when and where we hear about the money in that. So to talk about plans and how we're going to spend this money, I think one of our standing committees assigned to this, I would recommend that's the way we go. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, any additional questions, comments, discussion on this item? Okay. So we could go back. This will entertain a motion for items 3, 4, 5. Did we vote on? Number 7, I'm sorry. We've been here too long. Just for number 7 is moved by Commissioner Haydus, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun. This is for number item 7, collection of $7.9 million from Walgreens for the opioid, and this again would be over 15 years. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion carries.
All right. Thank you all. Next item,
We're going back to upcoming.
Let's do B since we're right here on the page.
We're moving to item number B on the addenda, testimonial resolutions and certificates of appreciation. There are 2 listed on the agenda and 1 on the addenda.
Hey, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Commissioner Scott and Commissioner Baydoun as they honor the Hamtramck City Soccer Club.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Yes, we had a great soccer team. In fact, I was at the school board meeting last week and I saw quite a few of them there. And we have some here today. And that's why we want to honor them for all the work that they have done. And I want to thank Commissioner Baydoun for working with me on this.
Thank
Chair
you.
Baydoun.
Thank you, Commissioner Scott. So although this is not in my district, but I have many friends and soccer players and fans in Hamtramck. So I just like to say a few remarks about the Hamtramck City soccer team. The soccer team was founded in 2008 by a small group of young players who quickly evolved into stars on the soccer pitch and joined the American League in Michigan in 2016 and captured the top spot in the 12-team tournament for the second time in the past 4 seasons. The Yemeni American State Cup is an event that brings the Yemeni community together, not only for excitement on the soccer pitch, but one that includes a running marathon, chess completion, and Quran recitation organized by Muhammad Adouayis, who's with us here today. He is the vice president of the soccer team. Also, the soccer team is fully dedicated for helping young players to stay active and live a healthy life, teaching different abilities mentally, physically, to provide a brighter future and offer programs to strengthen the community as a whole. It's an honor to present them with this resolution. If they can come up, I'd like to present it to them. And then we're going to take a picture at the end of the meeting, so stick around at the end, please.
Mr. Scott? That
Madam
beautiful
Chair?
trophy. Commissioner Basham, I think.
Yeah, if I could get the attention of the Yemen soccer players, I would just like to say one word. Shukran.
Oh, nice. And if you gentlemen could stay around after the meeting, we'll take a picture with the entire commission and that beautiful large trophy you have. Very large trophy. Congratulations. Love to see our locals doing well and representing Wayne County throughout the state, the county, the country. So congratulations again. We'll take a group picture after the meeting. Thank you all. Thank you, Commissioner Scott. Thank you, Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun.
Madam Chair.
Let's go to page number 10. We got to vote. Oh, she said we got to vote. Okay, so let's vote. Moved by Commissioner Scott, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun, to vote on the item B on the addenda, the Hamtramck City Soccer Club. Please vote.
Motion carries.
Okay, now we'll go to page 10 on the agenda.
We are on page 10 of the agenda, upcoming meetings.
Please note the upcoming meetings, especially the Ways and Means meetings, which will be off-site Thursday, the 24th, Dearborn City Hall, and September 6th at Northville Township Hall Assembly Room. If there are any changes to any of the other meetings, please let the clerk know. Next item on page 11. Oh, Commissioner Hedges? Economic development will be postponed.
Duly noted.
Next item.
We're on page 11 of the agenda memoriams. There are 2 names listed.
Their motion. Oh, we did them all in that last item. Say it again. Okay, okay. No motion. Next item. What happened to, I'm sorry. As a FYI, the 2 testimonials resolutions on agenda B were voted on addenda B. So we already disposed of those as FYI. So on on page 11, where it says testimony resolution certificates of appreciation, on page 11, when we voted on page 2 of the addenda, they were included. So just as a clarifying information. Item C, memoriams. I'm sorry.
Madam Chair.
You have to speak to it?
Or announce them?
Oh, you can
Okay,
speak to
I
it. Go
guess
ahead.
okay. So there is a True Value Hardware in River Rouge that has been in the family and run and operated in River Rouge for over 100 years. So I honored them with a resolution. So thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations to them for being in business for 100 years. Not many businesses can say that. Sure.
Because it's not on our listing here.
There's 2 on page 11 and 1 on page 2 of the addenda.
It's the addenda.
Y'all said, Commissioner?
Yeah.
I know Pastor Williams, we had that event, so.
And I saw it flash across here, but
Not on the paper version? Oh, it was at the last meeting. It was printed in the last meeting, even though it
okay.
happened
Okay.
after.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Basham?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to add a item for memorial resolution. Councilman Ira Slavin passed away last night from the city of Taylor, and he'll be missed. His son is the judge at 23rd District Court, and Ira's been active in the community of Taylor for many, many years. He was a former firefighter. He's been around a long time and has served the city as Taylor as a councilman for a number of years. He just passed away last night, so I'd like to add him for memorial resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And we're on memoriams. I have 2. Sharon Madison from the Building Authority. Her mother passed away. Geraldine Madison, very active in Cleveland School Board Council. And then when they moved to Detroit, very active here in Detroit and Wayne County. And then also, some of you may know Shawnee Penn. She was worked with the governor's office, Governor Snyder, I believe, and Granholm, very active politically. She passed away suddenly at the age of 46. So that was a shock to many of us. My sorority sister and friend of the family. So we're shocked about her passing. So upcoming arrangements, I'll share with everyone. when I receive them. Are there any other comments on the memoriams? Okay. Hearing none, everyone please stand for a moment of silence. Thank you. Next item, Madam Clerk.
We're moving to public comments.
Is there anyone on Zoom who wishes to give public comments at this time? Anyone on Zoom? Anyone on the telephone? One hand raised. I can't see the Zoom people, but okay, if you're on Zoom, go ahead and speak at this time, 2 minutes.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone under the sound of my voice. I'm coming to ask you each to ride Detroit Department of Transportation buses. At 6 p.m. on the weekdays and on the weekends, they're at their very worst. A lot of the council has written the coaches and talked to the people, Councilwoman Johnson, Councilwoman Santiago Romero, Council President Mary Sheffield. My name is Brother Cunningham. I'm an advocate, an unpaid advocate for many, many years in regards to public transportation. So upon next week, August 22nd, at 10 a.m., there's a virtual local advisory council meeting for DDOT. Okay, so there's a DDOT meeting, and you can hear for yourself what the people are saying. Dial 312-6799. And ID number is 80-2578-9528. I'm gonna say it until they cut me off. Again, the dial number 312-626-6799. The meeting ID 810-2578-9524. So I'm just 810-2578-9524. Again, if you're dialing in, 312-626-6799, and the meeting ID is 810-2578-9524. If you need additional assistance or you like some flyers that were produced by DDOT, I can give you 10 flyers or so you can disseminate them. But that's August 22nd at 10 a.m. My number is 313-444-9114. 313-444-9114.
Thank you, sir.
444-9114.
Thank you so much. Take care. Any other hands on the Zoom? Any other hands on Zoom? Anyone on the telephone? Anyone in the chambers? Oh, I'm gonna let you go second, sir. I'm going to defer to this gentleman here. Gentleman in the first row, gentleman in the first row, gentleman in the first row. Do you have the card for him, Madam Clerk? Oh, okay, sir. If you could fill out a card, could someone give him a card to fill out for public comments here? As he brings your card, if you can start, sir. You can start.
Make your comment.
Come on, sir.
We'll start up here.
Yes, go ahead. Name?
John Love. And I'm here because there's been a problem with management by the county. The jail, Fort Wayne, you took the money. And there's a problem with Ilitch. 50,000 tickets each year to children of low-income families. And I'm sure you've distributed these around your constituents because they haven't been doing that. Here's the next ripoff. I have this sheet that I gave you to pass out, and it's very simple. It's on both sides of the page. On page 1, they want to build 3 high-rise buildings in the plaza in front of the ballpark on property owned by this Detroit and Wayne County. That's going to be a massive traffic jam, and that's access. They had a training for the police to go there to see what's going on. So this is unacceptable, and it's $320 million of tax money that's going to be given to Ilitch to do this monstrosity. And when it's done, it's going to be awful. In the process, for the years that it take to do it, it's going to be a nightmare for everybody. So this needs to be stopped. On the other side is the total rip-off money. Oh, they're taking some money from Wayne County, only $14 million for this. You don't need it for the jails. You don't need it for these things. They're taking money from schools, and the Constitution says the school aid money shall be exclusively for schools. Oh, what a concept. But it's only the Constitution. We don't want to get confused with that. So this is the disgrace that's taking place. And I want to bring it to your attention. Here's the data. This is right out of their own information. I'm not creating this. And there it is. So I gave you copies to pass out to everybody. So please look at it and see how sickening it is to see this destruction to Wayne County.
Thank you. Next item, please, is Mr. Robert. Go ahead. Hello, sir. How are you?
Long time no see.
Long time no see.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, members of the board, staff, and commission. My name is Robert Plowski. I'm the former representative for District 15 of the Wayne County Commission Youth Council, representing Southgate. Today, if I ask for our members to rise, today is the announcement that I have Maya Freitas and Layla Hilden to be able to take over my seat for the District 15 seat. They are very active in their community. They focus on environmental, climate change, and women's reproductive right issues. That is something I was passionate about when I first started as a board, but also as an advocate. For something with their background, they do a lot of community work within their schools. They are high school seniors graduating next year. And most of all, I'd like to thank them for being here today, but also taking the step forward to be able to take over my seat while I go on into my future. I'd like to give them a round of applause if I could. Which leads me to my next order of business here today. And most of you know, they have not seen me most of the summer. Today will be my last meeting as a public member, but also the member of the Youth Council at the Wayne County Commission. It has been my honor to serve as the District 15 representative, be able to come to these meetings and speak on issues that are critical for me. Example, public transit. You've heard me here time and time again talk about millages and increase in transit. It has been my honor to focus on issues I'm passionate about, be able to work, attend the Tri-County Summit last year, and work with our wonderful members to draft a hardcore resolution to fight economic oppression, to make it inclusive and diverse for all in Wayne County. I will miss all, but this is not the end of my advocacy work. I'll still be here for a year, focusing on education, but also focusing on the issues that are near and dear that need to be worked on in my passion. Thank you for all the work that you've done, and my predecessor, Abdul Haddis, and Commissioner Monique Baker McCormick. Thank you for everything you've done, and I wish you guys the best going into your future. You never know, one day I'll be able to take Palomera's seat, but one word from Commissioner Baker McCormick that I'll never forget: you will be the next future president. Definitely mean that. And you never know, you might see me in the Oval Office.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate your service to the Youth Council and your advocacy in Wayne County in general. Thank you for the young ladies who will now be new members of the Youth Council. We look forward to working with you all, and thank you for your willingness to serve. Thank you, Robert. God bless you in your future endeavors, sir. Next item, please, Madam Clerk.
We have one more.
Oh, one more. Come on down. Oh, okay. Hello.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for letting me speak. My name is Melanie Hines. I'm working with the Wayne Wesleyan Board of Education, and I'm very excited to invite you all. We received a $1.2 million grant from Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, and we built a mental health facility at John Glenn High School. And we will be having our grand opening and ribbon cutting, and everyone is invited. John Glenn High School is located at 36105 Marquette Street in Westland, Michigan, 48185. The ribbon cutting will be Thursday, August 24th from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. You guys are invited. We are taking innovative steps to mental health in Wayne Westland. We have a group called Care Solstice that helps our children get fast, state-of-the-art mental health help that they need. We've been working with the Growth Works, and with that $1.2 million to have a mental health facility added onto the high school that will help our children with the issues that they're suffering. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And if you please send that in an email, that'd be helpful. Thank you so much. Any other speakers in the chambers? Any other public comments in the chambers? Email, Madam Clerk?
Yes, I have one email. It's from Anthony Plessia. Dear Commissioners, the World Health Organization is still negotiating amendments to the international health regulations that are intended to cede control of national, state, and local pandemic measures to itself. For example, it changes the IHR regulations from non-binding to mandatory instructions that member states undertake to follow and implement. It also sets up surveillance processes in all states and enables the WHO to share country data without consent. Will you refuse to enforce this illegal power grab? The Biden administration wants to proclaim that they will supersede local and state laws, but the reality is these amendments violate our Constitution. For example, the aforementioned surveillance processes violate the Fourth Amendment. Alexander Hamilton, who was an advocate for a strong federal government, wrote in Federalist Number 33 that lower level governments have the right to treat acts by the federal government that are not pursuant to the Constitution as acts of usurpation.
Thank you so much. Next item on the agenda?
Reconsiderations.
There are none. Next item.
Remarks by members.
Are there any remarks by members? Any remarks by members? We have a ladies first, so Commissioner Baker McCormick, then Commissioner Kinlock.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wanted to let everyone know that the Wayne County Commission Youth Council will begin in September, and the applications are due by September 15th. So if you have any young people that are interested, 10th through 12th grade that live or either attend school in Wayne County, please have them reach out to one of the commissioners or myself. Thank you.
Thank you. I need to get my applications in. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kinlock?
Yes, just like to remind everyone that the budget hearing for Ways and, for the next fiscal year for Ways and Means committee meeting will be at 12:30. We'll be discussing Personnel Department, Homeland Security, and Facilities and Management. And there will be at noon, in 20 minutes, there will be lunch on the 7th floor for everyone.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Anderson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know she's very modest, but one of our speakers that just spoke a few minutes ago, Melody Hines, she was my appointment to the Women's Commission. So I wanted to thank her for accepting that position.
Does great work. Thank you, Commissioner.
Yes.
Commissioner Kniezek.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, I wanted to just extend a thank you to Director Andy Candrivas and Elmika Steele and Alicia Bradford for a meeting that we had yesterday with the City of Dearborn Heights and a number of parks issues. The mayor and some council members were present, very productive. I just want to say how much I appreciate DPS and the Parks Division and all the work that they do to support our area. Now that it is an appropriate time to say whatever we want, I'll say two things. That I appreciate the interest in making sure that things are centrally located in the county. I think if you look at the county, the south end of Dearborn Heights is about smack dab in the middle. So if you want to start moving stuff to the center, holla at your boy. We're happy to have you. We're happy to have you. And on a less lighthearted note, this commission moved with lightning speed after the fireworks situations back in July. Back in March, when we were talking about toxic waste, we were asked, or it was encouraged, that we take some time as a committee and as a body to look at that and what we could do to stand a bit more firm and in opposition to the dumping of toxic waste here in the county. And so I think the resolution that we passed was in April. We're coming up, I think, on the 6-month mark. And so offline, I'll connect with the committee members and others. But I just wanted to raise it again for this group so that that issue doesn't fall off the radar and that we can hopefully bring something back here to this body to act on as well. I was at the Wayne County or Western Wayne County NAACP meeting the other day with the commissioner to my left here. And I had to apologize to her because, she's taking a very nice and thoughtful approach to this, and I appreciate that. And I'm a bit like a bull in a china shop on the issue. So I acknowledge that we all have our roles to play on this. I think that's totally great. Just wanted to raise it one more time for this body so that we can revisit it here in the future. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Question.
Commissioner Clark-Holman?
So, David, you have any idea if the legislature is seriously looking at this issue?
I couldn't speak to what the legislature is doing, Commissioner. Happy to follow up with whoever, if you think it'd be helpful. And like I said, my approach on this is less elegant than others, right? Some folks I think have rightfully pointed out, who has what control or who has what rights. Do we have the authority to do X, Y, and Z? And my response is I don't care. That toxic waste does not belong in Wayne County. Ban it. Let them sue us. Take me to court. Let us lose. But I think it's for me, it's a matter of principle. And so that was a long-winded answer to your simple question, Commissioner. I apologize, but I couldn't speak to what the legislature is doing, but would have to be follow up with any of them.
Okay, that's all.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I know Commissioner Baker McCormick and Commissioner Tim Killeen will continue to work on this issue together with you so we can make a powerful impact. Thank you. Commissioner Anderson, no?
I thought I would, I know the previous speaker forgot to mention it, otherwise he probably would have provided tickets for everyone here, that I think he's appearing in an Annie production at Garden City High School. I don't know if I want to go see him in a dress as pretending to be Annie, but I think it's a different role exactly. But maybe he might want to let us know the date, time, and that, so we wouldn't want to miss this, I think.
We have commissioners of many talents, and one of Commissioner Knizik's talent is apparently acting. So if you could enlighten us more about your acting debut, sir.
So I'm going to expand it even more. It's not just me, because the Friday night performance is featuring our county executive, Warren Evans.
Oh my goodness.
Is he playing Annie?
He's not playing Annie, but I hope somebody relays that question to him, because that's a good question. So I did not know, to Commissioner Anderson's point, that in the play Annie, there's a role that is historically reserved for elected officials that represent the area of where the play is taking place. The character is a puppet. The name of the puppet is Wacky. And so you can read into that what you want, that the role of a puppet named Wacky is reserved for the elected officials. But it's 5 lines, it's in the second act of the play. But I'll be in the Saturday night performance, 7 p.m. at Garden City High School. So get your tickets now. I'll sign autographs after the fact. And it's a good cause to support the Garden City Summer Theater Program. So thank you, Commissioner, for raising that. And thanks for the latitude, Madam Chair.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Basham.
And what branch of service was Commissioner Knizik in? I'll leave it alone.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a couple of birthdays I'd like to highlight. On August 18th, Terrence, our fiscal advisor, Terry Adams, will have a birthday. So happy early birthday. And on the 24th, Commissioner Terry Marecki will have a birthday. So happy early birthday to you too. So happy birthday to our August birthdays. Are there any additional remarks by members? I'll say one last thing before we adjourn. Just want to remember, or have everyone to remember to register for the Tri-County Summit on September 8th. Again, we are hosting it, so we want to have as many commissioners and Wayne County residents and leaders show up as possible at the Grosse Pointe War Memorial. We're going to have an abbreviated schedule this year, so we'll be done after lunch. So please, it begins at 9 o'clock. If you can get there at 8:30 for continental breakfast. We'll have Judge Burton as one of our panelists as he speaks about jail diversion and what they've done with the behavioral health unit at probate court. So it will be a great conversation with great topics. I look forward to seeing all commissioners there, September 8th. One last remark, Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I forgot to mention this earlier, but at the very beginning of our meeting, I know Tony Guerrero was online from the prosecutor's office, and probably not a lot of people know this, but he's had major surgery just recently, and he even found a way to join us for our meeting. I think he was still on duty, but I think we all appreciate Tony.
Absolutely.
And wish him the best for his recovery.
We'll send him healing prayers in his recovery. Thank you for mentioning that. Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to say that Darcel Brown is also on August 24th, his birthday.
Oh,
So happy
your birthday twins. Happy early birthday for you too. You all can have a joint birthday party. All right. Without